We're going to be taking a look at that and see how that all plays out. So I want to thank you so much for joining me. This is probably going to be a shorter video because there's not a ton of stuff going on and happening here today. So we're going to hop in on the current portfolio that I have, and then we'll kind of go from there. So keep in mind, none of these are recommendations to buy, sell, trade, anything. We're just giving you some insights here. So let's check things out. I'm going to go in and share with you that same portfolio that we've had or have been going on with. I'll pop out the chat here if we've got a chat going on, and see if anybody joins in here, because I don't really announce these ahead of time, at least not during the midday, because it just depends on my own personal trading schedule and just what I have going on for the day. Sometimes I have some coaching sessions going on. Sometimes I have some trades that need to be taken care of. So it's just kind of whenever I can hop on, that's when I hop on. Okay, so the other day, I think it was yesterday or the day before, we've got Lulu. If you look at the account statements here, this is again the simulated account, but 30 days back. Let's see. If we look at Lulu and we look at the order history here. Okay, so I had some cancel. Here's the fills. Okay, so we basically got in it the other day, 2 days back. I recorded that video. And you can see today it kind of got out at 405. So that was kind of our price. We bought it for $265, sold it for 405. So that's basically a good till cancel order. It was set and it closed out. So if you're looking at this, that's it got closed today. So I just want to update you right there. Boom, zero. So we were in that trade for like 2 days and collected, 30, 40% profit there, or even 50%. I'd have to double check. Was that two? Anyway, so it got closed out. Hey, Kevin, how are you? So we closed that out, but right now there's not a lot of stuff going on. I did some videos on like other stocks like Carvana and some other stuff on the other channel. So you can check that out on the Critical Charts channel if you'd like to just review some technicals. But ultimately, the market is just really going sideways for today. So we basically had this, from this upward to the downward move, we got this retracement. So now the question is are we going to roll back over? Because we've got this halfway retracement. Are we going to keep rolling over? That's really the concern. So the only thing I would do here is just, if you need to add hedges, this is the time to do it. If you haven't hedged and you want to add hedges, because you do have some lighter volume on it going up, going down, there's some heavier volume. So as I'm always looking at that kind of stuff, it's always a little bit of a concern. So as I look into this, it's like, okay, like you look at this portfolio, I mean, it's $26 up or down today. So it's really nothing. The puts here that we did on the QQQs when we sold them, here I did the puts, and I'll move that also to the long portfolio. The puts are doing just fine right here. So you can see that position because we're barely up. I mean, we're getting some theta, $100 or so, nothing too significant. And all these positions, like if you look at the market change, it's pretty much flatlined. So there's not a ton to do. The Zoom position is really killing me right here for today. On the back ratio spread, but I think this is just a volatility because it is a back ratio. So I put that on the other day. So it's just the volatility within it. So you can see it was up. Sometimes what you'll see is like if you open up a position and it's just going sideways, like for the day I'm talking about, and all of a sudden it opened up or closed, let's say positive 2,000. The next day you'll see it down like 2,200. So it's in a weird way, like sometimes they'll fluctuate and sometimes these numbers can look a little funny. But for now, for today, it's just, with the close coming up, it may be acting a little weird because that's pretty significant on that. So that kind of caught my eye because as I look at this, it's a huge weird drop on that position. So sometimes it's just, the intricacies of the position because Zoom itself, it's only down $4, so it shouldn't be that extreme on that position. Okay, so as I look to some of these positions here, I've got DKNG. Again, it's not really doing anything. Do I really want to add anything to it today? No, there's not much I would even do. This was a butterfly trade, so again, just kind of waiting for that to kind of kick in. LCID, so this is this Lucid You can see here it's kind of moving up and grinding to the upside. So that's nice. That's what we talked about from this break here. It's still there. We're just waiting for let things kind of cook and see what it can do. Actually, this is the time when you might, on a boring day, start looking at putting in some closing orders just to get out for a profit later on. And what you do is you go to the account statements and you can see LCID, you can see your fill orders. So I got filled at about 75, 80, 80, 80, and 95 cents. So I got 4 different fills. So I'm trying to spread my risk around. So let's just call it 80 cents. And if I'm trying to do this with a calculator, right, and I'm trying to say, okay, well, I basically made 80 cents and I'm trying to make, let's say, 50%. So I need to get out for about $1.02. Okay, so I could put in the position for $1, let's just say $1.22 right here, and I could set them all up and do a good till cancel order here, and that way it's just kind of sitting there. So again, these are nice little trades you just kind of put in there and just kind of letting them sit and let them do their work. So this way I don't have to watch it or manage it too much. It's just in there, so I'll let it do its business. So Lulu, we talked about, we got out. Roku is not doing too much. You can see it's down about $7. I thought it would pop a little more, but that's okay. So we'll have to sit in this trade for the time being and just let it kind of work. You know, the stocks will wiggle because you do have a probability of touching, right? So just understand that people that set stops down here or something like that, remember, the probability of you touching that stop and then it going higher is very high. So when you're setting stops, you need to be very mindful that, hey, you do have a chance of that stop being touched and stopped out, and then it could actually go back. So for us, we're just looking for it to touch an upper point and kind of get out of the trade. So for now, okay, fine, it's pulling back one day. We'll see if in the next, what do we have, 30 days, 40 days on this. Roku, and I got 30 days. So in 30 days, if it can pop, and I just need it to pop basically $10, and this thing can go $20, $30 easily in a single time. So here, even then, as I look at it, I've got about 28, 30 points that it can move in 30 days. So it's really not as big of a deal or issue. Okay, so let's see. Some other stuff that I've got going on. Just kind of, this is DKNG there, and then NVDA. So there's not really a lot happening right now. NVDA is just kind of sitting here with the puts, but the puts are underwater. So we're just waiting. It's one contract, nothing there. Alibaba, I think I also got filled. Did I get filled today? Yeah, I think I did. So here's Baba, also closed for a profit. You could see right there a profit for the day. So that's where it's nice to have those good till cancel orders. I'll move that to the unallocated group as well. And there's Lulu. So we close those out. So yeah, you can see here Zoom, by the way, since we started, it's kind of back to more normal levels now. So yeah, sometimes you'll see some weird fluctuations with options. It's just, that's just part of the wiggle. So don't get freaked out. Peloton continues to work against me. It's just one of those that's, yep, it's not one that works for me, I guess. So here, this one, I thought it would pop a little more, but it's not. I'm just sitting in a back ratio spread on that. I've got Tesla that we've done that bullish iron condor. You could see it's just holding there. There's nothing really to do on this one. Again, to watch the last week's video, this is when I kind of put this on. It's just sitting there, right? Right now we're breaking even. You can see there's no money made up for the day, but this is really just wiggle. There's you know, because this stock, when you look at it, well, it is up $45. So we were down here, but you know, it's a bullish position. So we're just looking for this to kind of grind up a little bit and just do the theta or time decay. So that's what I'm looking for in this stock, is just slowly to grind up, touch kind of somewhere in this range and get out of it. That's all I'm looking for. I'm just looking for it to do a little pop. Let's see, other stuff here, PepsiCo and Disney. So that's basically it. I don't have anything else crazy going on. PepsiCo, and then I've got Disney. So you can see here, I've taken some stuff off of Disney. The one thing I might do on stuff like days to day, and you know, you look at things that are a bit weak and choppy, is stuff that's went up really high, like ExxonMobil, like this. Just show you. And I do this cautiously because these things can continue moving higher quite a bit. What I would do is start looking at some shorting positions on this type of stuff. The problem with this is I've got earnings on 2/1, so that doesn't give me a lot of room. So I need to look at the energy sector. So this will be the XLE, and you can see this XLE has trended higher quite a lot. So from here to here on the lows, I'm looking, what is that, 22% run. So I could set up something similar to Lulu on the XLE, and let's just say about 44 days out for now. And I'll do like a $2 to $3 wide. And we're looking for maybe buy this, let's see, and sell that. And now we've got kind of like one right at the money, this vertical spread. And I could, again, put a few of these on. So we'll do a couple of these. Let's see if we can get filled at 90. Actually, just one contract first. And this is like a nice little hedge, like for stocks that went up really high. Because, you know, if the market keeps heading higher, the other positions will do fine. But if it starts heading lower, this is one that's a little extended. And you could kind of use it as a hedge a little bit. And I could start building out a little bit of the position. You know, so that's kind of one thing to kind of start looking at doing. I wouldn't go too heavy, but, you know, this market has been very weak. So, you know, just want to be a little extra careful and putting on little light hedges like that on things that are extended. Because again, if we get another downward move, we could see a problem. You could check out like other things like SPY that I mentioned, because it's also up here. You could put a slight little hedge for a possible downside move if we still get this rollover, because you've got a lot of overhead here at 480. So it is a little bit of a problem area. So be careful at those levels. And we'll just see here if this XLE gets filled. I'm going to go ahead and just push that order a little bit at 95 cents and see if that works. But really, that's about it. There you go. So I'll let these others sit. If I get filled on them for a good price, great. If not, then I'll let it do its thing. But really, today's kind of a flat day. There's no reason to push the trades. You're just kind of waiting, and you're seeing, hey, okay, are we going to roll over here? So this is the question. And if you're worried, you hedge more. And that's when you might also say, okay, well, let me put on some more, I don't know, back ratio spreads of some sort, or even a hedge for the SPY, let's say for the downside of like 30 days, also some puts on the downside here, similar. So we'll do kind of a vertical right here and right here. And we were talking about hedging with one of my coaching guys the other day. You know, always wondering about, okay, well, what do I do now? My stock's pulling back. How do I hedge? How do I protect? How do I adjust? And, you know, some people that get into it, usually by the time you do it, when the market's already tanking, it's a little bit too late at a certain level. So you have to be mindful that, hey, okay, when you hedge and protect, you're doing it kind of at the point where the market is fine, it's calm, it's not overextended or that kind of thing. So you're doing it at a good level. Whereas a lot of people, they wait till the last minute and then they try to hedge and protect. I'm going to go ahead and just, you know, get about, you know, I got 32 deltas here negative, but remember, I got a ton of other deltas that are bullish. Like a lot of positions are bullish. So if you want to protect, then you can say, okay, well, if the market tanks, let's say like here, let's say we pull back to 460, what would I make on the 460? So if we pull back to about 460, you're making $300. Is that enough for a risk of maybe $500? So you have to kind of determine that. Like, okay, if we pull back to 460, you'll make $500. So again, if you need more, you know, you could spread your strikes a little bit. I wouldn't overdo your strikes too much. because that actually reduces your probabilities and chance of success. But it's, again, something to look at. So again, maybe putting on a position like this, and you don't have to do like 10. You could start with a couple today, a couple another day, and so on. Because remember, you'll be making it up with some of the other positions. If market goes up, you'll be making it up. All this does is cushion your land on your pillow, so that way you're not in as nasty of position. So if instead of losing, let's say 3,000, you might lose like only 2,000 or 1,000. So there we go. So I got a few of these, and that's about it. Like I mean, I wouldn't overtrade. There's no need to trade a market that's just not really doing too much. You just kind of sit around and this is when I make videos, work on other classes and so forth, because you get a lot of these types of days, actually, believe it or not, when there's not a lot of volatility going on. And this is where traders like volatility, because once you get the movement, it's fine. And yeah, of course, there are some stocks that are moving, like TTO. What I do with something like this? Well, if it maybe gets into here, I'd probably look to short it, because you got to fade the bounce, bounce and fade. But it's not there yet. Carvana, the same thing. Is just, I did a video on this, but it's already so far down. I'd look to short it, but again, I'd need it to bounce before I short it. So this ARK Invest didn't bounce enough. So there's stuff that's moving, but it's not anything interesting to me. So you have to kind of look at, okay, what is it that you would do? What kind of market do you like to trade? So here, this one's high. I probably could short something like this. But again, you want to be careful over shorting, because the market does grind to the upside quite a bit. So you do have some bullish positions as well. And, you're spreading your risk out. So here is XBI, the biotech, starting to drop quite a bit. So you could kind of play this to the downside. Maybe Hood, you could say, okay, is it going to turn around? Maybe, but it's not even there yet. So anyways, all this stuff is just kind of isolating for the time being. These are the main ones that are traded. DoorDash is talked about today a bit, but again, that's just because it's got some volume coming in. So volume and price coming in at first. This is good, but this is where first comes price, first comes trading, and then after that comes the news. So because all of this was happening, then a lot of the news is starting to talk about it. But again, is it something I would take a trade on right now with the market being a little toppy? Probably not, but you could see there's some support maybe that's coming in here. So again, you're just kind of looking at this, it's kind of interesting, but not right now. AMD, the same thing. We've got a little bounce, but again, is it going to keep going like from here? Is it going to keep going this way? No, I don't know. Or will it just fade off? You got the bounce, and then will it fade? So you're always cautious on this, because the bigger trend right now has been to the downside. So if you look at just let's say that we look at the week, I mean, we're kind of halfway through the week, but you can see the last couple of weeks have been red. If I look at this month is red, and you can start looking at the bigger company, okay, what has been the month bar? Is the month bar red or green? It's been red. So we've got weakness for now. It's just kind of not doing too much, right? DKNG, same thing. So anyways, that's just my thought here. That boring days, there's only a couple things you might do. Something like that, kind of cleaning up some positions, maybe putting on a few spreads for a hedge, but you don't want to overprotect yourself, because if you do, then you'll lose on the hedges. But get them long enough as needed, and that's basically it. So as you put some stuff in there, you've got a few stuff going for some hedges and some long portfolio. You keep working on it, and that's it. Let the trades kind of do their work and so on. That's about it, really, that you do on these boring days. And there's not a lot of activity, so you're just kind of sitting tight, sitting on your hands, duct tape them, glue them to your chair, and go from there. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Enjoy the rest of the week ahead. We'll see if I hop on later. I haven't done a video that's more like a dull day, so I thought I'd just share some insight. But otherwise, I usually don't record on days like this, and I've been trying to do a little more live streaming. So anyways, we'll keep going, and I'll give you some announcements here soon as I progress. Check out the Discord channel. Check out the Critical Charts channel as well. And I'm working on some classes for you guys for swing trading and risk arrays, as well as trading during corrections, which we will kind of, once I get the PowerPoints done, we'll start looking at those. So anyways, thanks again. Enjoy the rest of the week ahead, and I will see you next time.